Are you gonna try and fix this? Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So this is in real bad shape. It's a box cab. It's a Japanese locomotive. It's a box cab electric. And this is a really good engine to get. I'm going to tell you why. It is because a lot of American railroads had electrics. And because this is a very boxy design, I'll pull it out gently. Because it's a very boxy design, it will fit a lot of these railroads. For example, the Milwaukee Road had a section that was all electrics, and also New York Central, which is what this is going to end up painted as, New York Central. And Pennsylvania had a P5 that was very similar looking. So this is a Kato engine, so I have a feeling it's going to be good, but it's seen some stuff. So we got some work to do. I'm just going to peel this paper off. I don't think this does anything. The shell is all plastic, so it won't contact this. That's not going to be a problem. Let's just test it real quick on the bench there. Just a quick test on the bench. So not only is it going to run, but I think I can qualify that it runs, just needs a good cleaning. It's missing the little lights here, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I've got some time to figure it out. And then this has a screw here. I don't think that's original to this model. Let's just remove that. Actually, it doesn't look like that much of a chore. Let's just remove that quickly. And we'll see what else we got. Yeah, it's done through some stuff. It's a little M1 screw. That looks very symmetrical. So this is a very good reproduction of an early box cab electric. All you need to do is make it look like, just paint it for the railroad that you like. So I think because it's a dark brown, I'm gonna run it today as a Pennsylvania unit. And then the other pantograph is here. Seems to be in good shape, other than needs to be affixed. Oh, there's a little issue there. The pantograph should be able to get this to go back. I need my magnification to do it. The pantograph, it was okay. There's very small pins that go in there. They're about the size of an atom. But I got them in, so that was easy. So the pantograph just need to be glued in basically, which I'm not gonna do right now because I'm probably gonna paint this eventually. I'm just going through the bottom of what I have, and this part looks to be in a little bit better shape. And it looks to be made out of brass. So I don't know what I think about that. And then this one is in worse shape. This is all twisted. Same thing, a lot of the handrails are missing. So we'll see. I don't have very high expectations for this. Just to get it running and get it ready to have New York Central paint. Although you could run it like that, actually. That makes kind of a nice box cab, just like that. All you would need to do is glue in some couplers instead of having the bogies. Just glue in some couplers there and you get a nice box cab. So I might end up doing that too. We'll see how I feel. As you can see, the New York Central electric had these platforms at the end, so I think I am gonna rebuild them. Even made it to the Penn Central era. I've got some Penn Central decals. If you're doing the Milwaukee Road, then no porch, and you'll probably need 3 of these. Pennsylvania Railroad also had a very similar locomotive, so that would go. These feel very brass-like, so I'm gonna take my time and just straighten them out as best as I can. Whoops. I guess they're not that solid. So I'm gonna take my time on this. So I'll just be gluing this back together, just as long as it sort of looks like handrails. I think I'm gonna be happy. That looks like a real mess, but considering the shape it was in and what my expectations were, this is gonna work for me. So I've got my little wheels there on the side there. I'll start cleaning that. Always use my rag, and I will clean them like that. But look at the attention to detail. They have all these detailed spokes in there. What a beautiful locomotive. This is probably the way I like to do it. If I'm not sure if I should buy or not buy a locomotive, I will buy one that's cheap, usually messed up, and then I have fun trying to get it to work. And once it's done, though, I'll look at it and then I'll decide if this is a good locomotive or not. But this is quite good. I'm really, really pleased with it. And it does look like this little armature there, this little frame, does look like that's brass too. I did not expect that this was such good quality. Of course, by the end of the video, you can judge by yourself how good this runs, but I have a good feeling about this. That's going to be a real good runner. So basically, it's a parts engine, but it allows me to test out how much I like it. And then if I'm going to spend a little bit more money and get a really, really good one. Although I said it before on the channel, don't do that. Don't buy two engines to make one. But this is just my fun thing to do is to fix up these old engines. So I've definitely succeeded in doing that. So with the clean wheels, it makes a big difference. And then some couplers were provided with the engine, which they just go with the spin here at the front. So I'll probably just glue them to the front like that. And that's going to be that. Well, okay, these are coming along. I got the couplers on, and they seem to work good. And then I got the pantograph sorted out. Now I have to sort out the main drive here. I think these are just clips, maybe. And then I got two screws to remove to separate the two halves of the frame. Yeah, these are just clips that reach under the cab. So I'll set these aside. And then these two screws, like most Kato engines. So that will release the two main bogies. Just spread them out a bit. And that will release that. So we'll be spending most of our time working on this, but these feel really good. And then we've got our motor, our usual Kato motor, with brass bearings. So beautiful. And then I've got my two screws with the frame and the two insulators. Oh, maybe there's one missing. No, it's here. It's on this side. This is good. Perfect. Good, great, grand, wonderful.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
Now, as I turn this with my hands, it turns just very, very, very well. But since I have it out in the open, I'll just put a drop of oil. And that's all you need, just one drop. There. Then I'll spread it out just a bit. Put one drop here. Same with the frame of the motor. Put one drop on the outside. Then I'll rotate it gently so the oil gets a chance to get in there. Do the same thing with the other side. 1 drop. I don't know if you can imagine that with a bottle like that, you could probably do 200 locomotives. Same thing, I just put 1 drop in there, and then I'll turn it with the worm gear. So everything in here looks clean. That's all I really need to do for in here. Most of my time I'll be spending in here. Every single one of these gears has the wheels, they have spokes in them. It's tough to see them. They spend a lot of time doing detail. Anyways, this feels real good. We'll do the same thing, take it apart and lubricate it. And this front gear, this front wheel here has no gears. We'll still clean it because I'm sure it contacts the track and brings the electricity. These are held together with these little clips. So we get our screwdriver and we just move up the little metal part. I have the first RS3 they made in the US used that type of a system. The first RS3, and then they made a bunch of F units that use this system. Just have to move this down just a bit. Same with the other one. And then this will release your gears. Now, some of these RS3s had an extra little contact strip. I guess this locomotive doesn't need it. So we have our wheels. Remember, the center one has the traction tire. And then let's just take a look. So that's the main gear. So that just gets lubricated, although it does feel very, very good. I don't think it needs a lot. And this will get cleaned. But you can see all the spokes in there. They sure got a lot of details in them. I enjoy working on these. They are the best. Perfect. I'll just lubricate this a bit as I put it back together. Again, just 1 drop is all you need. And then what I usually do, I'll put the 2 bars close to each other. And then I'll bring in the gears. I think this way would be better. Yeah, that makes all the difference. And then that last little one. I'll each give them a little drop. You don't need much. And then I'll start bringing in my 2 side frames, which have been lubricated. So I'll bring this in slowly. And then once it's in, you'll know. These are meant to be easy for the people at the factory. And then you can try it with your finger. Feels silky smooth. So that should be good. You can just see those bars underneath the side frames. What a beautiful thing. All right, so I did the same thing for the other side. All right, let's put everything back together. So these go back here. I'm using the table to support my 2 trucks. Just basically support everything. And then I'll bring the other side. So that is not a race, so you can take your time. So between the table and my fingers, I can support this. Use gravity as your friend, and then check everything. Let's put it together. You want to make sure all the bearings are their proper little grooves there. But that looks pretty good to me. I'm just about ready to go try this on the track. Just have to tighten these two screws here. They have to be very tight, just hand tight. I did some more research on this. On the New York Central, the locomotive that's very similar to this is called a P motor. And they did make it to the Penn Central era, and there was even one that got to pull the Golden Spike Centennial Limited out of Grand Central Station, and then they switched to another locomotive. That is quite a story. I have to see if I can find a documentary on the Golden Spike Centennial Limited and every engine that was on it. Nickel Plate 759 was on that, and the New York Central DD4DX was on that. So lots of really interesting locomotives, including this, the P5. So I'll probably end up painting this, just not this week, but that was an interesting story. So I'm going to do just a quick bench test, and then we'll go try it on the track. It runs super nice and quiet, and if you get the lighting just right, you can see all the bars through the side frames. So that is quite cool. Can't get enough of that. Okay, let's go try it on the track. Hey, that cow is still loose, but I get Farmer Fred to come and grab Daisy. So these can run quite slow when necessary. But to me, that adds to the realism. Oh, that's awesome. I added the porches behind it just to do some testing, just to see if there's any short circuits, or because they are metal, short circuits or derailments, but that seems to be going okay so far. We can handle it, that's for sure. So that seemed to run pretty good, even nice and slow. So I think I'm going to put the 20th Century Limited behind there. So I'll just put the shell back on. That should go back nice and easy. And now it's time to run some trains. All aboard! Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.